Up next, last week, U.S. Department of Agriculture Undersecretary Jenny Lester Moffitt had the chance to visit the University of Nebraska-Lincoln to participate in a roundtable discussion about a new $25 million project that was announced earlier this month. My colleague Alex Makovica caught up with her after the event to get all the details.
The University of Nebraska-Lincoln has been selected as one of the USDA's regional food center hubs, if you will. And joining us with details is Jenny Lester Moffitt, USDA Undersecretary. First of all, when we hear the word hub or center, we think this is like a physical brick and mortar. That's not what this is. Tell us more about what this will be.
Yeah, so we identified 12 lead partners across the country. So we'll have 12 centers across the country who are really more about bringing people together, building partnership, and building local experts and local resources into each of their communities so that farmers and food producers know how to navigate the food system and are able to advance new products into the marketplace.
So you guys hosted a roundtable here
Yes.
on the university's East Campus. Tell me about the takeaways you had from those conversations.
Oh, I heard from people who are working with urban farmers. I heard from people who are working with farmers out in rural communities. I heard from people who are working on making sure that the food that is getting to schools and hospitals is healthy. And that is the beautiful diversity of the food system, is that there is so many different players in the food systems. We have farmers who play the critical role of growing the food, and then there are many links in the food supply chain that can be complicated for a farmer to navigate, but farmers are really interested in doing that. And so to be able to have University of Nebraska-Lincoln, along with all of the partners that they've established in the Heartland, to establish this Heartland Regional Food Business Center is going to be able to provide a resource for farmers to navigate the food system and to bring new value to their farm so that they'll continue to prosper.
That's a great insight as to what it's going to look like, the benefits for producers. What about on the consumer side? What does that look like?
Oh, absolutely. So consumers who will be able to have access to some of that product that is grown here in Nebraska. So they'll be able to go to their grocery store, or they'll be able to go to local restaurants. They'll be able to, even at the hospitals and at schools, consumers will be able to have more produce and food and meat that is grown here in Nebraska in their own food system.
So this is not the only regional food system that's been established, right? It's
Correct.
kind of a movement across the country. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so there's 12 regional food business centers across the country, and they span from, there's an island and remote areas regional food business center to, of course, the Heartland, to a Delta regional food business center. And we asked the regions to identify, we put a call out for applications, and we said, figure out what region makes the most sense. What partnerships come together, present that to us, and then we'll select from there. And so University of Nebraska-Lincoln was selected to be the region for this 5-state area in the Heartland. That includes Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma.
So why Nebraska? Why did that stand out to the USDA?
As we were looking at the applications, what was clear to us is many of the criteria we wanted. We wanted strong partnerships. We wanted organizations that had the capacity to do and manage these big grants and administer grants too, because part of these is they're going to be administering what we call business builder grants. So they're going to be administering grants up to $100,000 for producers to be able to buy equipment that they need to get their product to market. So be able to administer that they're established and they're working in the food system already. They're known entities, and they've partnered with trusted organizations that are trusted by different groups of farmers, right? How my dad gets his information is very different than the neighbor down the road and the farm down the road. And I would imagine the same is here in Nebraska. So different people are getting information and going to different resources. And so that is also key to this.
A lot of good things to come. Undersecretary, what did we miss that's important to mention?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think this is exciting. We are working at USDA to transform this food system. We're working at USDA to create more opportunities for farmers and ranchers, more opportunities for communities in rural America to be able to prosper and to drive more jobs into rural America. And this is really about building our economy from the bottom up in the middle hour.